So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I wanted to seek the good wishes and the blessings of the devotees so that we can remember three personalities today. Yesterday it was the appearance day of Nimbarkacharya, and that's his picture on the screen. And the day before was the disappearance day of Bhugarbha, Goswami, and Kasisvara, Pandit. So we're going to try to remember these three personalities. There isn't a huge amount, especially on, on none of them really. But let's have a look at Nimbarkacharya. Nimbarkacharya is one of the main acharyas of one of the four sampradayas. So just a little bit, we've seen this before, the history. Krishna left 5,000 years ago, then Buddha came, and then Shankaracharya came and started talking about God as impersonal, doesn't have a form. And then these different sampradayas came. These different sampradayas established the personality of Godhead in different ways. So the Rudra Sampradaya, there was Vishnu Swami who took charge. And then there was Sri Sampradaya, of which Ramanujacharya is the main acharya. And then the four Kumara Sampradaya, that's where Nimbarkacharya is the main acharya. So 1100, so around about 300-400 years before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then we had Madhavacharya, who came shortly after that. And so the idea is that these four sampradayas re-establish the worship of the personality of God. And what distinguishes Nimbarkacharya from all the others is that he was the first one to begin the worship of Radha and Krishna. So very interesting personality. So we've got a little bit about his life story. There isn't that much which we can probably rely on or be very accurate. But there is something in one of our scriptures, the Gaudiya scriptures. So born in the modern Murgapattam in southern Dravidan province, so South Bharat, South India. He was a son of Aruni and Jayanti. Jayanti is the man, male, a very pious Brahmin, a couple of the Tailanga order. Nimbarka, he was a great ecstatic of the Tridandi order. So that means he took sannyas. And he wrote many books according to the Dvaita Advaita Vada, simultaneously one and different at the same time. Duality, one and dual. So there is, that basically means there's God and there's us. He lived most of his devotional life at a place called Nimbargram, which is near Govardhan at Vrindavan. And when he was there, he actually defeated a Jain Pandit. This Jain refused to eat with him, saying that the sun had already set, and so he would not take any food. So this is a practice which many Jains actually adopt. What do they call that? Athamani. Something like that. That they don't, when the sun is set, they won't eat, which actually is not a bad practice.
Ayurveda follows that as well.
Yeah, the Ayurveda treatment follows that. At this, Nimbarka, by his own potency, made the sun appear from a nim tree, behind a nim tree. And the astonished Jain accepted his hospitality. So you can see he was a pretty powerful personality. It is said that his name Nimbarka or Nimbaditya has been derived from this miracle of Aditya or Arka, meaning sun from a nimba tree. So very interesting how he got his name. Once in a village near the forest of Bilva Paksha in Navadvip, so quite far away from Vrindavan, a group of Brahmins came to engage in the worship of Lord Shiva. Just as Vishnu is worshipped by when he's offered tulsi, Shiva is pleased when he's offered leaves from the Bilva tree, Bale tree. Thus, the Brahmanas worshipped Lord Shiva by offering Bilva leaves for a period of 1 fortnight and satisfied Lord Shiva greatly. Amongst those Brahmanas was one whose name was Nimbarka. He had been particularly attentive in his worship of Lord Shiva. Being specially pleased with Nimbarka's devotion, Shiva personally appeared to him and said, Nimbarka, at the edge of this village is a sacred Bale forest. There, in that forest, the 4 Kumaras are absorbed in meditation. By their mercy, you will receive transcendental knowledge, for they are your spiritual masters. And by rendering service unto them, you will receive all that is of value. So this is really incredible instruction. After saying this, Lord Shiva disappeared. Nimbarka immediately went to that place, and with great determination, he searched for the 4 Kumaras in every direction until he finally found them, shining as brightly as the sun. They were seated on a very beautiful natural platform beneath a tree, and they appeared like blazing fire on an altar. They were all young, like 5-year-old. They looked like 5-year-olds, seeming to be no more than 5 years in age, but they appeared more noble in character as they sat there naked, wrapped in meditation. Nimbarka was so excited that he cried out, Hare Krishna! This sudden sound startled the 4 brothers, breaking their meditation. Opening their eyes, they saw before them the blissful form of an ideal devotee. And with great pleasure, they embraced Nimbarka, one after the other. And they asked him, who are you? Where have you come from? We are certainly ready to answer all your prayers. Nimbarka fell at the feet of the 4 brothers like a rod, and with great humility introduced himself. With a sweet smile on his face, Sanat Kumar then said, the all-merciful personality, Supreme Personality of Godhead, knowing that Kali Yuga will be extremely troublesome for the living entities, resolved to propagate devotional service himself. With this goal in mind, he has empowered 4 personalities with devotion and sent them into this world to preach. So these are the 4 main acharyas, right? And of whom one of them is Nimbarkacharya. So Ramanuja, Madhava, and Vishnu Swami. Lakshmi accepted Ramanuja as a disciple. So that's the Shri Sampradaya. Shri means Lakshmi. Brahma accepted Madhav. Rudra, Shiva, accepted Vishnu Swami. And meeting you today, we have the good fortune of being able to instruct you. That is our intention. Previously, we were engaged in meditating on the impersonal Brahman, but by the causeless mercy of Lord Vishnu, we have been relieved of this sinful activity. Since I have realized that it is essential to preach pure devotional service, I have composed a literary work entitled Sanat Kumar Samhita. Now, this book actually, Sanat Kumar Samhita, we've referred to it quite a lot when we were doing seminars on the Gayatri Mantra. So it's a very, very deep philosophy in this book. And there's a lot about Radha and Krishna. And I'll give you one example. Even like one of the Gayatri mantras has this word cling right at the beginning. It's the Bij mantra, the seed mantra. And just that one mantra, the 4 letters of that mantra has been dissected by Sanat Kumar in this book to explain what that is. And it's actually non-different from Radha and Krishna. So this is really amazing, amazing book. After taking initiation from me, you should follow the instructions I have set forth herein. Nimbarka was greatly enlivened at the prospect of taking initiation, and he immediately ran to take bath in the Ganga. After this, he quickly returned and prostrated himself once more before the effulgent brothers and said, O deliverer of the fallen, please deliver this low-born rascal. The 4 Kumaras gave him the Radha Krishna mantra and instructed him in the method of worshipping Radha and Krishna with the sentiments of great love called Bhav Marg. In that sacred Bail forest, Nimbarka began to worship Radha and Krishna, according to Sanat Kumar Samhita, and he chanted the mantra they had given him. Very soon, Radha and Krishna revealed themselves to Nimbarka. So this is really extraordinary. They stood before him, spreading an effulgence which illuminated all directions. In sweet voices, they addressed him. Nimbarka, you are very fortunate, for you have performed sadhana in Sri Navadvip. We both combine and assume one form as a son of Sachi. So they're making a prediction. At that time, at that moment, Radha and Krishna combined and displayed their form of Gauranga. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Beholding this splendid vision, Nimbarka began to tremble. Never have I ever seen or heard of such a form at any time. Lord Gauranga then said, keep this form, which I now show you, a secret for the time being. Just preach about devotional service in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, for I gain great satisfaction from this. When I make my appearance and perform my educational pastimes, you will also appear. So that was 400 or 300 years before Gauranga actually appeared. And Nimbarkacharya he came as a Keshava Kashmiri, taking birth in Kashmir as a great Pandit. You will tour all over India, defeating all opposition. Your reputation and learning will be celebrated everywhere, and you will be known as Keshava Kashmiri. Whilst wandering in Sri Navadvip, you will come to Sri Mayapur. By simply hearing your name, all the great Pandits of Navadvip will flee, which is exactly what happened. Intoxicated with scholastic pride, I will take pleasure in defeating you. However, by the mercy of Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, you will realize my true identity. Giving up your false pride, you will take shelter of me, and I will reward you with the supreme gift of loving devotional service, and will again dispatch you to preach. Thus, you can satisfy me by preaching the philosophy of Dvaita Advaita. Keep my identity a secret. In the future, when I begin my Sankirtan movement, I will personally preach taking the essence of your philosophy and the philosophies of Madhav, Ramanuja, and Vishnu Swami. From you, Nimbarka, I will take two important principles. One, the necessity of taking shelter of Srimati Radharani. And second, the high esteem of the Vraj Gopis' love for Sri Krishna. So then Gauranga disappeared after instructing Nimbarka. Shedding tears of ecstasy, Nimbarka left Navadvip to begin his preaching mission. So in Chaitanya Leela, he appeared as Keshava Kashmiri and received love of Godhead directly from Nimai Pandit. So the source of that is the Sri Navadvip Mahatmya. There are striking similarities between the Gaudiyas and the Nimbarkas. Okay. The followers of Nimbarka accept the 6 forms of surrender. So these are things which we've talked about in the past. Accepting things which are favorable for bhakti, rejecting things which are not favorable, firmly believing in the Lord's protection, exclusive dependence on the mercy of the Lord, have no separate interest from the interest of the Lord, and feeling oneself meek and humble. So these are 6 forms of surrender, and the Gaudiyas have that as well as the Nimbarkas, so exactly the same. They also practice the 9 limbs of bhakti, which is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Achanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. So we've covered that a few times, especially when we were looking at the Bhagavad Gita. And whilst we're doing the Bhagavatam, this will come up again and again. So we will become very familiar with these 9 processes of bhakti. So the first is hearing.
Excuse me, Prabhuji.
Yes. Riyansh.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The first one is hearing Shravanam Parikshit Maharaj.
Good.
Second,
Yes.
chanting Kirtanam Sukadeva Goswami and remembering of Krishna Smaranam Prahlad Maharaj and serving the Lord's lotus feet is Padasevanam, that is Lakshmi Devi, and deity worship is Archana, that is
Prithu.
Prithu Maharaj, and sixth one is praying Vandanam Akrur.
Very good.
Seventh one is executing orders Dasyam Hanuman, serving as a friend Sakyam Arjuna. Complete surrender means Atmanivedan Maharaj Bali.
Well done.
Good boy. So those are examples of devotees who have taken to just even one of those processes and received the mercy of the Lord, become liberated and gone back to the Lord. So Rianch, who was the person who did all these 9 perfectly?
Nimbarkacharya.
No. According to the Bhagavatam, Ambarish Maharaj. Yeah, he did every one of these, all 9. And he did it perfectly. They also believe, the Nimbarkas, in the Dasmana, the 10 cardinal points of Gaudiya philosophy. And these are, the Vedas is the evidence of everything that we go through. And the Vedas give these 9 principles. Krishna is the absolute, he's omnipotent, which means he's everywhere. No, omnipotent, he's all powerful. He's a fountainhead of all relationships and love. Living entities are his separated parts and parcels. So we're part and parcel of God, but we're separated. The jiva, being a marginal energy, can come under the influence of Maya. And the jiva who is liberated can become free of Maya. So these 8 is the jiva is simultaneously one and different from Krishna. Pure devotion is our main occupation, and pure love of God is the main goal. So these 9 principles come from the Vedas. So both Gaudiya and Nimbarka completely are in line with these. So these 10 cardinal points. They also worship Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. They worship Radharani as the topmost devotee. They accept the gopis' love for Krishna is supreme. With beads, bhajan, kirtan, Nimbarka chant their version of the Mahamantra. So they have a little bit different version. It goes like this: Radha Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Shyam Shyam, Radhe Radhe. Something like that.
Interesting.
Whereas we have Hare, Hare Krishna.
And then Ram, instead of Shyam.
And then we have Ram. That's right. And this, why we accept the Mahamantra according to the one we chant, is because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the one who's given that mantra for this age of Kali Yuga. So we accept that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
The Vallabhacharya also, they don't use the Maha mantra. They say Shri Krishna Saranam Mama.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct. That's correct.
Pushti Marg, yeah.
Pushti Marg, yeah. Yeah. Mahamantra is only the Brahma Sampadaya down the Gaudiya, Madhava Gaudiya route. In Vrindavan, about 1 mile from Govardhan, there's a village of Nimbargram, which we talked about before, named after Nimbarkacharya, who lived there from childhood and later performed bhajan there. Many of Radha Krishna's pastime places in Vrindavan are now manifested.
Not maintained.
Also maintained by the Nimbarka sect. In Mathura, Vrindavan, innumerable devotees follow Nimbarka's path of bhakti. The Sriji Mandir, which is very close to Loi Bazaar, is the center of their sampradaya. Some of his works are here. I won't go through the names. What's the difference then between us, right? The difference is this concept of the manjaris. The gopis they accept as having the highest love, but there is the servants of the gopis, who are the manjaris, are very unique. They're unique to the Gaudiya philosophy. And the manjaris are considered to be their love for Krishna and the ecstasy they get is higher than anybody's. And our acharyas, generally speaking, they're all manjaris. So they are assistants to the gopis and they're young. So Radha and Krishna don't feel shy when they're connected with intimate pastimes. They will engage these manjaris as well, because they're not shy of those manjaris. They're so young, and they're just almost like they're parts and parcels. So the sweet devotional sentiment of manjaris, following their Naika Shrimati Radhika, Radha Dasam, is unique in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and the highest of everything ever aspired by a sadhaka. This mood is not practiced by any other sampradaya. So this we've sort of touched before when we looked at the manjaris and the gopis, and we'll do it again after we've gone through the Bhagavatam, because once we go through the Bhagavatam, we'll get a little bit more understanding of what this is all about. And Gauranga, he took two things from all the sampradayas. So let's just have, and we've just talked about that. In fact, he took from the four Kumaras, he took the exclusive shelter of Radharani and exalted love of gopis for Krishna. Any questions or any comments from what we've just gone through?
So is that the only difference?
It's the only difference. Apart from the mantra and the tilak.
Okay, so what's that tilak?
The tilak is wider.
Okay.
Okay. So two other personalities, Kasisvara, Pandit. Hare Krishna.
I'm just showing you the moon in Mauritius.
Oh,
Okay.
wow, great. Let's have a look.
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, let's
Yeah, we
just
can-
spotlight
spotlight.
you.
Aye.
Oh, wow. We done the darshan now.
That's
Thank
good,
because-
you.
For us, it is the time to complete our fast as well. So thank you.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
And here, of course, this is the Great Britain.
where you don't see anything.
We didn't even see the sun today, did we?
No.
And we won't see the moon because it's just cloudy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
Okay.
for that
Thank you,
darshan.
Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. So we can complete.
So what happens if we don't see the moon? We don't complete our fast because
you
here
can-
also is cloudy.
Exactly. Just so you can see, you can watch this later on YouTube at the time of your moonrise.
Because like it's around 11 in the morning here.
Yes.
So
What
let's
time
wait
is
and
your
see.
moonrise, Mataji?
Sorry,
What time is your moonrise? Do you know?
sometimes around 6:30
Oh,
because it's winter. It's get dark earlier.
Yeah.
right.
Sometimes it's 6:30, 6 o'clock. Sometimes when I'm walking outside, I can see the moon. But today I'm not
Okay.
sure because it's a bit cloudy.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you, Karuna.
Yeah, really.
Thank you.
I love it. I like your garden as well.
In fact, I am at my Pitaji's place now. Chita Manjari stays here. So
okay.
the same little temple that you have normally for Hanumanji outside the house.
Okay.
And
Beautiful.
where is that, Karuna? Which part of the island?
Basse, Bo Basse.
Oh, you both live in Bobasan.
Yes. And we have
Okay.
our tulsi plant right in front here.
Wow.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank
Here is
you.
our
Yes, we can.
plant.
Yeah, go a little closer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
there it is.
Oh, so beautiful.
wow. A
Thank
lot of
you.
manjaris, huh? Fantastic.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Now it's becoming cloudy here also.
Yeah, that's the influence of the
Of us.
British weather. We can destroy any weather, no problem.
Hare Krishna, what is that house, Mataji?
What is
that?
that?
There is a small house there.
This one.
This one with the light. That's the Hanuman.
This one is the Hanuman.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Chautra here. We have Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman inside.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
And that's outside?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So Aruna, fancy this relocating?
Yes, I would.
If you could, you
Who wants to come with me?
we'll all be with you. Believe me.
Start
Mauritius
our
is
mission.
an amazing place.
Yeah, it's a nice place.
The problem with Mauritius is too much nice place. It's so nice,
The weather's so nice.
easy to forget Krishna. Here it's so horrible. You know, the weather encourages you to think about Krishna.
That's true. But I think after 60, you deserve a place like that.
True.
You can divert your time on Krishna all day.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Karuna. Really good. Really good. Appreciate that.
And guess what? Guess what? There is no COVID in Mauritius.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
know.
That's right.
They've kept
That's
it
right.
really under bay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We will
Okay.
So
We're taking the explain out, Karuna. Hopefully not bringing COVID with us.
no.
Okay.
so Kasisvara Pandit, he was a disciple of Ishwara Puri. His father's name was Bhugarbha and his last name was Chaudhary. He was from a section of family Brahmins coming from the dynasty of Kanjilal Khanu. Srila Prabhupada writes this in one of the purports. His nephew, his sister's son, who was named Rudra Pandit, was the original priest of Vallabhpura in the village of Chitara. Installed there are deities of Radha Govind and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kasisvara Goswami was a very strong man, and therefore when Chaitanya visited the temple of Jagannath, he used to protect the Lord from the crowds. Another of his duties was to distribute prasad to the devotees after the kirtan. He was also one of the contemporaries of the Lord who was with the Lord in Jagannath Puri. So there's not much written about this devotee. So Bhakti Siddhanta has written the following. He visited a temple at Vallabhpura. At that time, the person in charge was a Shaivite, Shiva Chandra Chaudhary, who was a descendant of Kasisvara Goswami's brother. In Vallabhpura, there was a permanent arrangement to cook 9 kilos of rice, vegetables, and other foodstuffs. And near the village, there is sufficient land which belongs to the deity on which this rice is grown. It is said in the Gaura Ganodesha Dipika that the servant of Krishna in Vrindavan named Bringar descended as Kasisvara Goswami during the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this looks like a Gopa or a servant of Krishna. In our householder life, this is Prabhupada saying, we also sometimes visited this temple of Vallabhpura and took prasad there at noon. The deities of this temple, Shri Radha Govind and Gauranga Vigraha, are extremely beautiful. Near Vallabhpura is another beautiful temple of Jagannath. We sometimes used to take prasad in this temple as well. So Prabhupada is very personal. He shares his experiences. It's really nice. Chaitanya Charitamrita records, Brahmachari Kasisvara and Sri Govind were dear disciples of Ishwara Puri. And Ishwara Puri's other disciple, famous disciple is, who is he? Who is the most famous disciple of Ishwara Puri? Anybody know?
Is it Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
It is indeed. Well done. Absolutely. When Ishwara Puri passed into eternal Leela of the Lord, so when he left this...
Nandi.
Who?
Nandi.
Nandi. No, not Nandi.
It's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Chaitanya. Gauranga.
Not Vishnu, Prabhuji. Vishnu.
No. Ishwara Puri is a wonderful devotee of the Lord. And from him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation in this parampara. The two of them went to Puri and thus attained perfection. What happened actually? Ishwara Puri, he instructed his two disciples, Kasisvara and Govinda, to go and serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they were happy to follow the order of Chaitanya. But since both of them were godbrothers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord honored them as peers. So he didn't want to take their service because they were on the same level. Only after considering the order of Ishwara Puri did he accept them as his personal servants. So because Ishwara Puri had said to Govinda Prabhu that you should serve Chaitanya, and to Kasisvara, serve him, so then Mahaprabhu accepted. Sri Govinda attended Mahaprabhu's personally as his servant. So we have come across him many times as his personal servant. And Kasisvara, he was engaged as a bodyguard because he was big and strong to protect the Lord from the crowds when he visited the temple of Jagannath. Thus he would walk in front of the Lord. When Mahaprabhu went to the temple of Jagannath, Kasisvara, being very strong, cleared the crowds aside with his hands so that Chaitanya could pass unattached. Kasisvara Pandit was extremely strong. Kavi Karnapur Goswami writes, so we've said this, Kasisvara Pandit and Govinda, they were former servants of Krishna in Braj, Brangara and Bangura. So they came as Kasisvara and Govinda, who used to bear water from the Yamuna for Krishna. Gauranga asked Kasisvara to move to Vrindavan for worshipping Rupa Goswami's deity of Govindji. Feeling separation from Chaitanya, Kasisvara said, "My Lord, if I give up your association, my heart will split in two." Out of compassion for his devotee, Gauranga gave him a deity of himself, who was so perfectly formed, it exactly resembled the Lord. Gaur Govind, the deity's name, is a golden form of Krishna playing flute. Then Kasisvara Pandit happily went to Vrindavan and to serve Gaur Govind and Govindji. Actually, I forgot to look out for these. Today, the original deities of Gaur Govind and Govindji are lovingly adored by thousands of devotees in Jaipur, Rajasthan. So maybe, hopefully, I'll try to remember and get an idea of the deities. Sadhana Deepika says, I worship Kasisvara Pandit, whose power of love and devotion brought Chaitanya to the Western Bharat as a deity. So this is in Rajasthan. Kasisvara Pandit's glory is innumerable and exalted. His disappearance day is on the full moon day. So yesterday or the day before, in the month of Ashwin, on the festival day, which is celebrated as Maharasa dance of Radha Govind. So that's Kasisvara Pandit Ki Jai. And then finally, there's not much on Bhugarbha Goswami. Just as there's very little mentioned in the scriptures about the life of Lokanath, in the same way, there's very little about his dear friend, Bhugarbha Goswami. They were one of heart and mind. On the order of Mahaprabhu, they went to live in Vrindavan. Bhugarbha Goswami was a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit. And he had disciples called Chaitanya Das, as well as Mukund Ananda Chakravarti, Premi Krishna Das, and others. Krishnadas Kaviraj writes, the 11th branch of Gadadhar Goswami was Bhugarbha Goswami, and the 12th was Bhagwat Das. Both of them went to Vrindavan and resided there for life. Kavi Karnapur writes in Gaura Ganodesho, the Pika. Bhugarbha Goswami was formerly the Gopi, Prema Manjari in Vrindavan. So very powerful Gopi. While in Vrindavan, Bhugarbha Gopi passed away and entered into the unmanifest pastimes of the Lord on the 14th day of the full moon during this time, right? Kartik. While in Vrindavan,
You read that.
sorry?
You read that. It's come up again.
Okay, yeah. So Chakravarti, Narahari Chakravarti Thakur writes about Lokanath Goswami and Bhugarbha. Bhugarbha and Lokanath were world preachers. They were so close and affectionate to one another. They were like one body. In Vrindavan, they were regarded as amongst principal Goswamis because they were actually older than the other 6 Goswamis. So they were senior to them. So they're like the gurus of Rupa and Sanatan. So very important. Both of them are very, very important. The foremost writes that Bhugarbha Goswami, with whom he had much affection. Oh Hari, so Rupa Goswami writing, why am I addicted to this abominable path of karma? I didn't worship Radha Krishna in Braj even one iota. Nor could I understand the position of spontaneous devotion, Ragamag. So then he writes, Rupa, so Rupa Damodar, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Bhatt, Raghunath Das, Gopal Bhatt Goswami, and Bhugarbha Goswami. So he's mentioned Jiva Goswami, Lokanath. I never offered a drop of service to the lotus feet. How then shall I attain the goal of life? So of course, Rupa Goswami is very humble. He was one of the greatest servants of the Lord and still is. So this, I won't bother reading this. This is just the rest of that text from Rupa Goswami. Bhugarbha Goswami and Lokanath Goswami simply wandered around Vrindavan forest, calling out the names of her 12 forests. Bandhiravan, Kamyavan, Mahavan, Talavan. And Srimati Vindadevi, the maintainer of the forest, an expansion of Krishna's pastime potency, revealed the exact location of each and every forest. So they just used to shout out and Vindadevi used to guide them. To avoid material distractions, Bhugarbha would perform his bhajan underground. So he received the name Bhugarbha. Bhu means earth, Garbha means cave or womb. Garbha, Garbhadakshayi, Vishnu. We also mentioned this name is there. So hidden place. So interesting name, Bhugarbha. He is Prema Manjari. His Samadhi is in Rupa Goswami's temple, is near Rupa Goswami's Samadhi in the Radha Damodar temple. So this is the Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan. Very beautiful temple. And it's great. We are actually having darshan today because it's the last day of Damodar month. And these are the beautiful deities there, Radha Damodar. There's so many different Radha Krishnas there, but these are the principal deities, Radha Damodar. And they were installed by, was it Jiva? Can't remember now. And this is his Samadhi. So when we walk around the temple, there's many Samadhis, and this is one of the main Samadhis there.
It's at the side there.
Yeah,
You go around.
that's it. Exactly right. So that's the end of that pastime. Are there any questions or any comments, please? Anybody like to share anything?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yesterday we were talking about Tulsi Maharani, and you said you have Tulsi Kunja. Is it also the Vilas Kunja?
Binda Kunj. It's called Binda Kunj.
Okay, yeah, no, I've been there. But there was Vilas Kunj also near where we went for meditation in that same area.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not aware of that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not aware of that.
Yeah, we went to this Vrindavan.
Okay, nice.
And there is something amazing that happened. It's not amazing, funny. It's funny. It's like Ganga wanted to take the picture of a snake in the water. You know, the small snake in the water. They don't go like lengthwise. They go like they're walking. Only their little head is on top, you can see. She was trying to take pictures and she slide in the pond. And then she could feel the snake touching her feet. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. Interesting pastime. Thank you for sharing, Maji. Okay, so we can go into the stop.